States. Let's hear now from Dr. Hans-Jakob Schindler, who is the Senior Director of the Counter-Terrorism Project in Berlin. He explained to me just how far back this Reichsberger movement goes.
This is a decades-old movement that, as your correspondent has said, started out with the basic idea that the German Reich did not end on the 8th of May 1945, but continues to exist, and that all political structures, from the local to the state to the federal level in Germany, are therefore completely illegitimate. Now, for the first decade or so, these individuals really did some just weird but fairly harmless things, printed their own passports, refused to pay taxes, harassed local administrations, but very little violence. But in the last couple of years, more and more violent actions have been taken by Reichsberger. There were more and more weapons being found, and today really is the culmination point. This is the worst kind of expression of that movement that we have seen so far in Germany, because not only are there links, they actually purposefully contacted representatives of the Russian Federation, which means there is a link to the foreign aspect as well.
Indeed, but it's not clear whether those overtures to Russia were responded to. I want to focus on the internal issue here. We heard from Damien McGuinness that these people are networked, they're influential, they're well educated, some of them have military training. This is something that Germany's domestic intelligence agency has known about for some time, including the presence of far-right people cells inside Germany's own elite forces army.
That is true. Germany is not very unique in this respect. If you look to our big brother across the Atlantic, they have similar problems. This particular part, I would not say they had access to military training. Several of these people were actually former members of the German military, and one of the accused is also an active member of the German Special Forces, KSK. So this was a very serious planning that, according to state authorities, started in November 2021 and has fairly far progressed till this morning.
And when you talk about it going back to November 2021, is that in terms of the authorities knowing of their existence? Were they just watching them? How was it working in terms of what they were observing?
So the Reichsberger themselves, the movement and its individuals, are under observation both on the state as well as on the federal level by the German interior domestic intelligence services. They do this on a revolving basis. So as far as I understand, the individuals were known to the services. What started, according to the official statement, in November was this next step to go from saying this is an illegitimate political system to an actual planning on how to topple this particular political system, including scoping of military camps and procurement of weapons.
Does that suggest to you that they are far more radical than they were even just a year ago?
Absolutely, yes.
And what does that mean then for those who have not been arrested, those who were not the 30-odd who are being looked at? I mean, there must be far more people out there.
Yes. Now, since this is a counterterrorism operation, you have two categories of accused. So the directly involved, that's the 25 that have been arrested. And by the way, not only in Germany, but also in Italy and in other countries. And of course, you have support structures. And those 27 seem to belong to the support structure of this particular cell.
That was Dr. Hans-Jakob Schindler, the Senior Director of the Counter-Extremism Project in Berlin.